We can do the intro. I've got no picture.
Morning, Michael. Afternoon, Michael.
No picture yet. Welcome to today's match of the round, the live stream game for this round, coming to you live from the Tanunda Oval. A real rivalry game, Tanunda versus Angaston. This goes back as far as football in the Barossa Valley goes. This is what it's all about, isn't it? Joining me today, I've got Dan Eggleton, former president of the Tanunda Football Club. And He will try and not be one-eyed today, but we'll see how he goes.
Incredibly one-eyed. It will not change, and so it should be, because it's your mob against my mob, mate, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. It's how we should be. But to be honest, it's exciting to be here on such a beautiful day. Perfect football weather. There's been drizzle and wind and rubbish. The middle of the oval's muddy. It's set up to be a classic Angaston versus Tanunda clash. And I believe it'll be the clash number 3,974 since the 1600s.
Could be. I'm not sure about your stats. That could be Donald Trump-like facts, but
the truth is out there.
We don't expect anything less from you, Dan, but this will be it's a little bit damp, so it's going to be hard contested footy, and that's what these two teams have thrived on for over 100 years. They love to hate each other. They love to hit each other. All mostly fair and square, but this will be a real game for football purists today. You might not see any of the real clean flowing stuff at times, but we're going to have some genuine one-on-one contests all around the ground. And today is a really big day for both clubs. First of all, for Tanunda, the debut of 16-year-old Axel Bignell, son of one of Tanunda's living legends, Ryan Bignell. He's their games record holder and one of the great winners in the history of the Magpies.
Absolutely, and to go on from that, the committee actually asked Ryan if he wanted to play today with his son in the ones, and he forewent that opportunity, which shows what a great club man he is.
It does, because the Tanunda reserves are really fighting for their spot in the finals, and they won that reserves game today by 1 point, so that shows where his heart is. It's all about doing the right thing for the club over self, and
Absolutely.
That's what makes Ryan Bignell one of the greats.
Yeah, 10 premiership tattoos on his ankle.
Yes, and
in every grade he won a premiership.
He's a winner. That's probably the only word that really needs to be used to describe him. He's just a winner in whatever he does. But also for Angaston, we've got a debut today. Kane Holmes, the package. He's debuting for Angaston.
It's fantastic, and I believe, is that your lad, Ploppy? Congratulations. Well done, Holmesy. And again, another young fellow that's come right through the club.
Young man who's worked hard and is getting a reward for that hard work. He's one of my favourite players. I do love him.
I'm really looking forward to this game. I haven't seen a lot of footy this year. I've done a lot of travelling, but when we've been fortunate enough to see them, there've been clashes, and there's been elements of both clubs that we've seen, and today I don't think there'll be any different, where we're seeing youth, and each of these clubs is bringing forward a lot of kids that have come up through their own ranks and really delivering for their communities, which is bloody fantastic, I think.
Well, there is such a development focus at both these clubs, and infrastructure is another part of that development. We see to our right here the new facilities being constructed at Tanunda Football Club is a great initiative, and the committee, it started back when you were at the helm, and now it's starting to come to fruition. It's something that is going to be a legacy for young people coming through this community for decades to come.
Generations, and that's where the whole thing is. The region is really going ahead in leaps and bounds, and its ability to sort of harness the talent that's come from it. And we take things like last week's announcement of Shannon Hearn retiring, 330 odd games for West Coast Eagles, a premiership captain coming back. We've seen the Westhoff boys. We've got guys like Summit and these lads playing in the region. It is the nexus of high quality football in rural regional South Australia, and it's also a great development point.
Yes,
and it means that the standing of the competition is high. The opportunities for people to do to pursue a career in the sport that they love is there, and if you do it right, the local SANFL avenues have really encouraged that as well. So it's fantastic.
There's still a couple of spaces to park on the boundary line if you want to get down and watch this game today. You can sit in your car and watch the game and just be a part of the atmosphere and feel the vibe here at Tanunda Oval, which is a really strong atmosphere today. It's going to be a really good game. If you get in your car now, you can get down here, get on the boundary and watch one of the great rivalry games. It's the Pet Cup and Kleinig Medal on offer today for both teams.
Yep.
And those two names mean so much to both football clubs. Those families have
really
given
integral,
so much.
Really integral. Generations of involvement with both of those families in both clubs. And it's really, you cannot go to a football game at Tanunda or Angaston without being hit up for a raffle ticket by a peck.
I've escaped that so far today. Don't say his name too many times.
David's down there, so I'll give him a call up. And obviously, the late Roddy Kleinig and his sons both had integral parts in both clubs in turning periods of both clubs around for premiership success. And those indelible marks have got to be celebrated.
Absolutely, they really do. And today is a celebration of that. It's a celebration of football. It's a festival of footy, really.
Well, we're also seeing celebrated the 1963 Tanunda A-grade premiership team, the remnants of which are down enjoying a quiet locally made beverage and a feed, and are keeping warm in these cooler conditions. And some legends of the region of Cranebull, of Homburg, and the like, and from yesteryear, but still vital parts of our whole community.
Now, I've heard stories of Cranebull being a magnificent player. I wish I'd been around to watch him play.
Pretty good fortified winemaker too, so a lot of time for Dean. And we had a chat about 15 years ago. I sat in on a winemaking masterclass of fortifieds in the Swan Valley of West Australia with Dean Cranebull. So very exciting to see people like that still coming back and participating.
This is what football clubs are about. They're about community. They're about celebrating the people in the community. It's not about trophies as such. I mean, there is that aspect, but football and all sport, in fact, is about people.
Oh, it is. So it's also just a little quick shout out to the Tanunda Netball Club Sponsors Day out there on the courts, and the rain's held off. There's no damage out there from what I've seen, and again, it's about community. So
conditions are really good for sport today. Netball, there was a little bit of rain earlier, and the court got wet, and the bowl picked up some moisture, but the girls who played said it wasn't too bad. So it should be really good conditions for both sports.
Yeah.
And as I said, there is still opportunity for you to come down, get a park on the boundary line. There's one over at centre wing on the outer side. That'd be a perfect spot to watch the game from. Get in your car, get down here, be a part of this community and enjoy it. As players are starting to move for their positions now, we're nearly ready for the first bounce.
We do have a late out for Tanunda. It's young Ashton Steinert was a late out, and I think I can see, and if my eyes don't deceive me, the 2012 Premiership captain for the Colts in Mitchell Fox.
Oh, wow.
Number 33.
That's exciting.
So we need to take note of that. The Fox man.
The little
Moxie,
Chihuahua.
The Chihuahua. Well, he's not so little these days. He does enjoy a pie from the Apex.
He does. As the siren goes, umpire Prentice with the opening ball up. And one down by Voigt for Tanunda. And quickly wrapped up, so we'll have a repeat ball up almost in the same spot. Expect to see a lot of that today. Roberts with the tap that time.
Quick handball down to Hahn and a big kick into the forward line.
And a really good mark taken there in defence.
That's young Antony.
Jaden Antony on that occasion. But Lockie Earl chops that ball off from an errant kick. He can drive the Pies back in there forward 50. He's a wet weather machine. He'll be important today.
Young Foxy caught behind there, and the mark has been paid to young Tom Ryan.
Tom Ryan, a reliable defender for the Panthers. He sets everything up from their back line. Quick pass to Paprotny, who goes out to the outer side. He's found a target, and they're moving the ball cleanly by foot at the moment. This is something the Panthers will want to do all day, is just maintain possession.
Twig Antony through to Alex Reinke. And there's some really clean ball movement there, Teeks.
Finding a player in the middle of the field. This opens the game up a little bit. That kick really didn't advantage his teammate, so it's punched over the boundary line. We'll have a boundary throw in on outer wing.
So we expect a lot of stoppage football today. I think it's the Angaston sort of template has been very much for a very long time for being in and under.
Probably not so much this year. When they've been successful, it's been a flowing, fast-moving type of football, which could hurt Tanunda today because that's the antithesis of what the Magpies have done all year.
There's a big ball into the forward 50 that's coming through. The mark was dropped by the Tanunda player there. Looks like Greenslade's having a shot on goal. And it's
just offline.
behind the stick for a point. There's some good movement. And if both sides play open, it's going to be quite exciting. It's good to see young Doherty back with a very disgusting haircut.
Yes, but most of the haircuts today will annoy you.
They do, tend to.
And quick movement through the middle of the ground there from Dylan Tuckwell, but chopped off at centre half back by Rune Guilfoy, who's a real quality player for Tanunda. Mark taken there.
That's young Doherty, who's back from a torn pectoral muscle.
He has been a huge out for Tanunda for most of the year. He really is integral to what they want to do. The ball well spoiled down.
There. Looks like young Bignell's already on the field.
Got to give the people what they want, Dan.
It's fantastic.
Strong tackle there.
Again, another junior there, Darcy Thompson, really putting his body on the line.
And I've done a few Tanunda games this year. It's the young players that have been the stars for the Magpies all year. Thomas Hahn has been fantastic and should be right up there in the best and fairest for the Magpies this year.
I have no doubt, and plays a style of football that's really encouraging and also catches the eye of the umpires maybe.
Well,
very
possibly.
Explosive.
Kick for the Panthers. Into traffic. Jay Shannon drops the mark. That ball into the middle of the ground. We've got a race on here.
Jed Durden there with hands.
Kick
Tommy
off.
Corcoran.
That's a really beautiful kick from Corcoran and a running shot on goal. And through the middle. First goal of the game goes to the Panthers.
And the crowd goes wild. There'll be enough of that, thanks.
Calm down, Dan.
So that was young Luke McInerney blasting off of
an
the
important
halfback
recruit
flank.
for the Panthers this year. Missed a few games, but just has that class of movement.
Where's he from?
He's from Port Adelaide via Port Districts as well.
Okay.
But played league football for the Magpies along with Corcoran.
Very
and
good.
those two combined in that passage, you can see the quality of ball movement from those two is just a touch above.
Absolutely.
Another quick entry for Angaston. Good pick up from Antony.
Tuckwell getting caught with the ball there a bit, and Ben Schiller, Captain Courageous from years past.
Benny Schiller hands off to Matt Westhoff.
Another former captain.
He goes long down the boundary line. Mark not able to be held by the Angaston player there. He's taking the ground.
Tanunda appear to have the player out the back of the pack at the moment that's been able to help spread the ball away from the clusters. So they're getting advantage and being able to roll over the line at the moment, and the Tanunda coaching will have to be aware of that.
No, you'd think the Tanunda coaching would be aware it's their plan.
I said Angaston.
No, you didn't.
The bit of bustling work in there by Lockie Earl. He'll do that all day.
That's what he's best at, and these conditions really suit him. Antony trying to hold position there. Couldn't get to the ball. And here we go, Benny Schiller. Kick from the outside of the right foot. Into space.
Darcy Thompson leading the foot race here.
And he's tackled. Taking the ground there.
There's an excellent tackle by young Axel Bignell on his debut. He's just got his jumper dirty.
Yes. Better tackle than Ryan Everlade, I think.
Glad you're saying that here. That's a good tap down. Sam Cahoon, not at a wedding in Bali.
Good tackle there.
And Sam Brooks has been taken to the ground by the Angaston player.
Really powerful tackle there by Josh Cock. Tap comes down. Angaston player grabs it. He's wrapped up by two Magpies immediately. So umpire Prentice will come in and have a repeat ball up. Umpires in charge of today's game, Ryan Prentice and Ray Higginbottom, two of the BLG's best. Lockie Earl with a beautiful pick, one-handed pick up.
Great hands. Tanunda.
Really well done. And Hahn driving the ball deep. That's his specialty.
Absolutely.
Good pick up from the Angaston defender. By hands, they're really good. That kick out finds Stephen Summerton. He goes back inside to the running Antony. Antony goes long.
Young Hokeless there spoiled. Oh,
he's infringed. That's a
against young Archie
Haddon. Jay Shannon now goes across goal. He's looking for Antony. Antony on the second grab got to it, but there may have been an underhand in there initially. So we'll have a ball up probably 35 metres out from the Angaston goal.
There's a spiral deep out of the defensive 50, but Angaston's able to intercept there. The Tanunda player took the ball and went to ground at the same time as being tackled.
Was jumped on, but no infringement. Didn't get into his back, just enough to corral him. Umpire's doing a really good job this year, and they've managed to negate some of the styles that have been played.
Greenslade going forward, and the spoil by young Axel Bignell, with the ball being picked up by Jared Trainer, and that's a goal.
That's a really good goal from some great work by Bignell. He doesn't get the goal next to his name, but he really was the one who created that.
Absolutely, and it's great to see, and I think we commented on it at the start of the game. Once it gets open, the pace at both sides with these kids is going to be absolutely fantastic, and we can see that happening now. Once you break out of the congestion,
yes,
there's a lot of free-flowing.
That's
football.
what we said. The conditions on the ground, apart from the cricket pitch area, are really good, and we're seeing that in the way they're playing.
Be remiss of us not to recognise the importance of the efforts of the Matildas in the current Soccer World Cup. I think, how good has that been?
That's been fantastic, and it is great to see women's sport thriving in this country.
Absolutely. So there's a free kick in the centre going
Goes to Voigt.
Voigt.
He drives it straight away down the middle to the goal face.
Young Mitchell Manning in
Right
the
on.
helmet.
Really
Got the
good
ball.
kick out of danger by Angaston, but chopped off here.
Bailey Smith is lining up for a
On the
shot
left.
on goal.
That is a really good effort, just falls a little short. Angaston with the clearance here. It's like Summerton kicking out of defence. He's found Durden, who's a long way up the ground at half back, working really hard to provide a link.
Both Durden and Doherty are covering a lot of ground next to each other. There's obviously a plan to run with that as a strategy.
And Doherty is a perfect matchup for Durden. Just the
Hard
flexibility and athleticism.
Yeah.
Beautiful ball down to half forward. Pack flies.
There's a tackle there, but a great pick up by young Finn Manning.
Manning
who's,
clears.
delivering the ball. Axel Bignell over his head, but then young William Parker has picked up the ball. Beautiful and clean. There's another junior there in Darcy Thompson. He's looking for an option deep into the forward 50, with young Bignell taking a mark. Fantastic effort
Here we
by
go.
both the juniors.
This is a chance. Distance will test him because he'll be kicking from just inside 50.
There's calls for go for goal, but I might be behind him in these conditions.
He's just offline and just short, so a mark taken in defence there, it looks like by Cock.
No Tanunda player deep, unfortunately.
Angaston with a clear and kick and a mark. They're winning to move the ball quickly. They've got players on in the middle of the ground. Here they go.
Young Harvey there, delivering the ball out to the half-forward flank.
He finds Antoni. He handballs back into Summerton, looking for Durden, who's well spoiled by Doherty. That ball picked up at ground level, kicked around the corner. Tanunda have got a player there, and young Josh Hokeless.
Louis Hokeless is there, delivering the ball. But it's
Really good spoil there. Dylan Tuckwell kept the ball in somehow. Kicks around the corner on his left. Thomas Hahn cuts it off well.
Sam
Moves the ball
Cahoon.
out by hand. Colhoun with a nice kick out of defence.
Guilfoy lumbering along. There was an attempt to
pick
tackle.
up there. Angaston now with the repeat entry.
That was really good
Heavy
pressure from
tackling
behind.
going there. And a big crashing spoil. Picked up here.
Antoni.
Ben Antoni with a flying shot. And he's kicked the goal. Beautiful left-footed goal there from Ben Antoni, who's been in fantastic form all season for the Panthers. Really flourishing into a brilliant half-forward.
Well, he had a very long stint down at Central District.
Yes,
too,
he
didn't
did, and
So-
looked like he was going to make it, but unfortunately it didn't quite happen for him, and he's come back and is now playing as a fully fledged senior footballer and a real leader of his club.
And his brother's work off half-back flank and in both the seniors and the seconds has been fantastic for a long time now.
His brother would like me to say that his brother does all the hard work.
Are they still winning the bets when they get on the tips?
I'm not willing to entertain their tips, so I prefer to go better sources.
Tight ruck
sources with
contest
better
in the-
horses.
Tight ruck contest in the middle.
Tuckwell wrapped up and he's dragged down.
Managed to get the ball out, but there's some heavy work going on. Earl gets tackled by Shannon, and it's a ball up again.
That was actually Corcoran who laid the tackle.
Young Thompson's out to Hahn. Hahn with a quick kick deep into the forward line, and it's just gone out of bounds.
Across the face. So Angaston will get the kick in for last touch. Last touch rule is something that's really benefited the league in the last 2 years. Cannot wait for it to come in the AFL.
Absolutely. The team sheets here are a bit different. We're seeing number 50 being marked for Tanunda as Errol Rothy, but it's definitely not Errol Rothy. I'm not exactly sure who number 50 is. We'll find out for you. There's a bit of a miss kick there, and Thomas Hahn has attacked the ball very hard.
Beautiful work there for Tanunda.
Got a bit of an arm in the
good sliding mark there. Taken in defence there for Angaston. That's Alex Reinke, who's moved to defence this year, where he's really starting to find a home. That's beautiful movement by the Panthers. Just moving the ball by foot with confidence.
Tommy Corcoran just laid a little rib tickler into Thomas Hahn in the marking attempt there. It's had an effect on the young man. He hasn't quite got up yet. I should imagine he'll mark that in his book.
I would think so.
If he's a Hahn?
If he's a Hahn, there will be a fair ledger over the years. Imagine. I think it might have to be a computer database, not a book these days.
There's a fair contest going into deep 50 with Summerton taking a mark over his head. Oh no, it's Dylan Tuckle, sorry. They do look kind of similar.
Oh, I don't think either of them would like you to say that.
I think Tucky would love to be compared.
Tucky would probably love it, but also thinks he's got more muscles than Samo. A little bit heavier in the body.
Well, I was going to say, were they muscles?
Well, he believes they are. If he believes it, good on him.
Hopefully his father's listening. He'll be having a chuckle.
He definitely will.
The kick goes and hits the point post on the full, therefore out of bounds.
Tanunda will have the kick in with a chance to clear. Benny
West.
Schiller is in the open out on this side. No cover on him whatsoever.
This side being the grandstand side or the commentary box side? The commentary table side?
Yes. We don't quite have a box yet at Tanunda. I'm waiting for that development.
That's happening. There will be 2 coaches' boxes developed above the current infrastructure, and will include a broadcasting booth.
Oh, that will be fantastic. It's about time. With the reclining seats.
Reclining seats. Pie warmer.
Oh, beautiful mark taken there. Josh Cock. It's a really good overhead mark, especially in wet conditions. He's got a player on just over the top of him.
Some clever work there by the Tanunda player at half-back.
Good movement by hand there.
Greenslade getting out of the half-back down the wing. He's driving the ball, but it's been cut off again by young McInerney.
Disappointing kick in the end from Greenslade. Angaston switching the play here, coming to the grandstand side. They've got room to run now. That mark just over the top of his teammate.
And again, pace at the ball. Hopefully they use it. And unfortunately, again, it's that youth that we're not seeing, that moment of the clarity. A bit of communication probably needs to be
really big tackle
improved.
laid there.
The Tanunda player looked like he ducked his head there.
That was Archie Haddon, wrapped him up. He's like a pit bull, you don't get past him.
Young Hamish Martin will know he's been tackled.
Ball comes out to the back.
That's a fantastic pick-up and a fantastic tackle.
That is even better tackling, not to give a free kick away in that situation. It takes a lot of talent.
Arguably South Australia's best country footballer at the moment, and Sam Cahoon.
Yes.
Bignell with a fantastic touch through the middle.
That is juggling that would belong in a circus, but he's taken it and kicked around the corner. Angaston looking for the repel now. That player's tripped. Might have tripped over his own feet.
I think there's a fair bit of that going on at the moment.
And Tom Ryan now with a big, long, raking left foot out of defence. And Summerton shoved his opponent under the bowl.
Did he get away with it?
He got away with that one very, very well.
Pretty obvious, and I didn't even have my glasses on to see that, Teeks.
You'd need binoculars, Dan.
I can, yeah, I can see the other side. I can read the Gurn plumbing sign, so I'm going okay. Good ruck contest there by Voigt. I think it's young Thomas Hahn at the bottom of the pack, as usual.
That's where Hahns usually are.
Was indeed, and we're going to see the ball go up again. The atmosphere, juggling around. No
out.
clear possession until now, and the run out the
Beautiful
wing
work. Antony on the left. He's looking for Durden deep, who's well defended by Westhoff.
Matthew
Westhoff sees that ball over the boundary line. Pretty happy with that as a result. He wants on the full, but I think he might be fighting a losing battle there. Umpires generally don't play that when it's sort of dribbled off the foot.
There's that, and the fact that the young fellow was about 80 metres away. Bit hard for him to make that call, I think.
But players will still argue it every time, even though it's a waste of energy.
No, I'll argue it until the cows come home.
Boundary throw in here. Voigt gets that tap down.
There's some bulls in the middle of that pack there at the moment, doing some heavy work. The young Hokeless has got the ball from Cahoon.
Gets the clearing kick.
It's cleared out. It's
well
so they can't be able to spoil it and move it.
Comes down. That was Cock with the handball.
That's a mistake.
Tanunda now with some quick movement. They go into the middle of the ground. Just goes over the top of young player.
That's young Axel Bignell again.
Hahn
Breaking the
now.
tackle. Hahn sidesteps around an Antony. Deep inside the forward 50. William Parker is chasing it and unfortunately goes out of bounds.
When the Tanunda young players get the ball and move it quickly, they are so dangerous. But
Absolutely.
unfortunately, they haven't been allowed to do a lot of that this year. The style of football they're being requested to play hasn't allowed them off the leash.
No, exactly. And I think that there's elements of that where you can see on both sides here today that they're quite youthful, quite skillful, but it's you can tell that youthful enthusiasm is also having effect in misdirected kicks and a lack of patience, especially in these conditions.
Yes.
Lockie Earl spotting up in the middle, looking for a long forward option. And
That's a really good mark taken in defence there. Reinke once again. Angaston moving the ball from half-back, looking for Antony. He was caught behind, spoils it down.
There's a fantastic tackle there by Ben Schiller.
Earl fighting on the bottom of the pack.
And Ben Schiller's just throwing a bit of weight around there.
Just reminding people who he is and what he's done. He's a modern great of the Tanunda Football Club.
Absolutely. One of two brothers to be premiership captains.
Not quite as deep a voice as his brother, but he's in the same area.
Getting there. Getting there. Is he still motivated to just remind them of 2019's grand final win against Angaston?
Coming in now. Looks good off the left foot.
That is a classic.
He's driven that one through. That's Ben Antony with his second goal of the day.
Couple of words said by young Archie Haddon against Benny Schiller on the way past. I'm sure that his father would have been quite pleased to let him just have a word on the way past.
Yes. I don't think there's any backward steps taken by Archie Haddon. He's growing in confidence and has become a genuine senior footballer this season, and some best on ground performances to go with it.
Fantastic.
In particular, a best on ground performance versus Williston about a month ago in a win.
The ball goes up. We've got Voigt and Schubert against each other in the middle. Earl, some really heavy work.
Big slinging tackle. That was on Haddon. Somebody gets ripped out of the contest.
There's a fair
Lost
bit
the ball.
There's a nomination for an Actors Guild Award there.
Slightly.
Slightly, you reckon?
And
he's won it too.
Free kick
My
goes
goodness. Goes to young Dylan Tuckwell, isn't
Yes. I'm not sure it was him that was doing the acting. I think it may have been Summerton.
it? Matthew Westhoff just gets the hand in there. Ben Schiller at the bottom
Roberts
of the
couldn't
pack.
quite hold that mark. So we'll have a ball up probably 35 metres directly in front of the Angaston goal.
Dangerous position to be there. Want to clear it out. It's an under defence. Manning with a smothered kick, but it's got enough power to go through. And some heavy shepherding work there off the ball.
Protney now picks it up beautifully. Little left foot kick. Perfectly weighted. Finds a teammate. It's a great delivery into the forward line.
I believe that's James Protney with the ball now,
Actually,
so I don't know who
Protney
kicked the
with
ball,
the ball
to him.
now. That was
So we have a
Corbin
look,
Schubert, who
we have a
kicked
look
the
at
goal.
these two sides. There's several hundred games of league football
on
running
each
around.
team.
And
And several AFL games.
Smattering of
in the Tanunda
that
team.
wasn't of that league quality though.
No, that wasn't the best kick. He'll be really upset with him. He prides himself on his skill. Very unsung sort of player, Proprotny.
It was a big pickup a few years back.
Yes, and has been a really... Went away last season and played elsewhere, but has come back to the club this year and has been a really good inclusion. Adds a bit of maturity into a young team.
Earl kicks long out of defence. The ball goes over the back.
At the back.
Then great handball to Hahn.
That's a really good attempt at a mark from Reinke.
But he's got no help there.
Picked up well by Jaden Antoni, who kicks with the right. That's how you tell him and his brother apart. One
That's
kicks
right.
with the right, one kicks with the left.
That's it. The two big boys for Tanunda in
So a really good
Guilfoyle
tackle there from Corbin Schubert.
on Rune Guilfoyle.
Another young player who's developed into a senior footballer in the last 12 months.
Just to confirm that the Ray White scoreboard, I gather it is, Ray White Craigmore is Tanunda 7 points to Angaston 18.
Also on the Birds Barossa scoreboard.
And some really good heavy work there. Good pick up by Bailey Smith. That was always going to happen.
Really good bump there. That was McInerney.
On Hahn. Hahn has copped a couple of big ones.
That's a good chip kick there. Finds Tuckwell, but Hahn really getting a lot of attention. That's a good mark taken there.
That's young Archie Haddon, I reckon. That's
He's probably within range to take a shot on goal from here. Likes a goal.
Yeah, young Thomas Hahn, that's the second really big hit he's had. That one was it was there to do.
Yes.
The earlier one wasn't. That was really unbecoming. But poor Tommy Hahn got sold into a fair bit of trouble there. That was
You gotta love your teammates.
And Bailey Smith probably had the opportunity there to make the most of relative
Haddon comes
clarity.
in now. Goal umpire is
That's
unmoved.
their fourth
That's another
strike.
goal for the Panthers. A really good start for Angaston on the road. They're always very competitive here at Tanunda. Both teams, the home ground advantage doesn't seem to favour them quite often. It's that kind of rivalry where it doesn't matter where you play.
It's not without opportunity in the forward half that Tanunda has had. It's just they haven't made the most of those opportunities. The deep forward of Jared Traynor seems to be pulled up the ground.
Gets the handball away despite being tackled. Benny Schiller gets it forward.
And a solid tackle by
Tom Ryan.
by Smith on
Sorry,
Ryan.
Smith.
Clever ruck tap there. And some heavy work by Tuckle out of the middle.
He finds a player in McInerney.
The ball goes over his
Shoots
head.
out the back.
We've got young Finn Manning with a long clearing kick out of the back 50.
Well spoiled. Comes to ground. Somerton lays a tackle, but he can't prevent the handball. He smothers that one.
Tanunda bloke got absolutely cleaned up.
That's a really good tackle there. And a free kick going the way of young Axel Bignell, who's laid a couple of great tackles so far today. Starting to have an impact.
Ball's on the ground at the half forward line, and the siren
Goes to end the first quarter here from Tanunda Oval. Currently Angaston leading 4 straight goals, 24 points to Tanunda 1 goal 1 on the Birds Barossa scoreboard. We'll be back with the second quarter shortly.
Quick, you go down and have a quick kick of the footy.
All right, welcome back to Tanunda Oval, everybody. We'll give you a quick update from the AFL where we've got Richmond farewelling two legends. Are at the moment in the third quarter, 65 to North Melbourne at 43. And the Suns against Carlton in what possibly could be an upset happening. The Suns are 49 to Carlton 47.
It was always going to happen. Carlton were going to remember who they were eventually.
He's suggesting they're batting well out of their league.
In the last month or so, they have been playing like a real football team.
Oh, good Lord. I'm glad all those Blues fans are going to be happy with you, Teak. So well done.
I'm sure they will be.
And it comes off a pretty cracking game of footy last night between the Collywobbles and the Lions. And didn't the old Fitzroy family get up and about on that one?
They definitely did.
Wonderful. And we're seeing a bit of a cracking sort of a game here. And Tanunda again, as we said before the break, that they've had opportunity. They've seriously had opportunity and they haven't taken it. But Angaston have been fantastic. And the execution in these conditions to be 4 goals
Their
straight,
movement
1-1.
into the forward 50 has been far superior. Tanunda have had entries, but a lot of them have been shallow and low quality entries. That's the one thing that their coaching staff would be pleading for, is for them to actually take their time, lower their eyes and find a quality entry rather than just getting it forward.
Indeed, and we also were notified by Axel Bignell's stepsister that he is actually number 50, and the young fella that's been doing an absolutely fantastic job and allowing Axel to have such a great debut has been young Jacobus Howson. So we pass that on to both families.
Apologise profusely to Jacobus and his family. But that's the standard I expect from Axel Bignell, so he does have a lot to live up to.
Well, absolutely. So let's keep an eye on the young fella, and we did see him do a couple of good things. So as you get into your first game, it's always a little bit daunting sometimes.
It is hard to recognise new players sometimes.
What are these? It's the haircuts, honestly.
It could be.
Oh, seriously.
You're just jealous.
I've still got a little bit. If we're looking in at the moment. With SANFL Host Plus League, we've got round 17 at the moment down at Flinders University Stadium. The Panthers 12-4-76 to Port Adelaide 6-5-41. We've got North 2-1-13 to the Doggies at Prospect 3-2-20. We have Eagles 7-2-44 over the Tigers 4-2-26. And at the, I don't know if they're traditional rivals, the Bloods and the Red Legs, 1-4-10 for the Bloods and 5-2-32 for the Legs. As the ball goes up in the centre, it's an under over, as the mizzle starts to come down.
Stephen Summerton hacks that ball out of the air, but it's taken by Voigt, who kicks the ball in the other direction. Ball comes out now. Angaston with the ball, moving it forward quickly. They've got a player on.
Young McInerney free at half forward that's a huge
That's
error
a
there.
really big forward kick. Chopped off well by Westhoff.
And run through by young Manning. So there's some upsets happening in the SANFL. There's a possible major upset happening at the AFL level. If the Suns can get up over Carlton, that'll throw a cat amongst the pigeons quickly.
Absolutely.
Big pack forms.
Lockie Earl crashed the pack.
A fantastic mark. He almost got off the ground then.
Almost. I'm not willing to go quite that far. It's not really his forte.
Moves it down the wing. The ball's gone over the top. Sam Brooks comes in, all grit and determination. And he's got the ball out quickly to young Jacobus.
Mitch Fox lurking on the outside like a seagull.
Sits.
Couldn't quite get it as Tom Ryan seeds the ball over the boundary line.
Foxy doesn't look like a hungry seagull though.
He looks like one who's been near some really generous tourists. The comment that just keeps throwing chips. Good tap there from Voigt.
Good handball there from young
Tuckwell
Brooks.
picks it up and he's dragged to ground.
Some tight work.
This is the kind of football we really were expecting. A lot of stoppages, a lot of hard body work. Ball comes down.
Out.
Colhoun with the clearing kick.
Hewson with a high contact there.
And that ball just manages to stay in, but marked by Reinke in defence, who's having a solid game so far. He moves the ball out on his left foot, finds Antoni, who settles things down a little bit. Goes with that short kick.
That's a great
really good mark there from Corcoran.
Out to Proprotny in front of the Gatwine sign as we have a look to the hills at Angaston at the top of the hills there.
Quite nice earlier today.
Did you almost see the sun once?
Yes.
Wow, that'd be strange. Did you have to
go
inside for a while?
We are closer to it.
Closer to God, they say too. The drop mark at half back by Cahoon, which is a strange error, and he's sold his
teammate into trouble. Big strong tackle laid there by Antoni, I believe.
Young Thomas Hahn just gets another one.
And I think he thrives on that from what I've seen. He doesn't shy away from the contact at all.
Rumour has it that a cat's head isn't harder.
That's a rumour I actually believe. Not often I believe a rumour coming out of your mouth, but this could be the first.
There's a great ruck tap there by Voigt down to Earl, but it's again stopped in the damp grass and allows the Tanunda and Angaston blokes just to jump on the ball. The ball up again. Ball hits the ground. There's a quick kick out off the ground, and the young Tanunda player couldn't quite get it, but Martin is back in on the ball.
Tuckwell now doing a lot of work down there.
And he's been paid a free kick against for holding the ball.
Doing a mountain of work though, Tuckwell. It's cut off by Somerton at half-back. Just reading the play.
I can't work out why the Tanunda player played on at that stage.
Footballers aren't always known for their smarts, Dan.
The Angaston player makes a great pick up and then runs straight into a Tanunda bloke who they roll around on the ground for a bit and then they decide that that's...
Umpire Prentice comes in for the ball up, taking control. He is one of the best. I think he's actually the best umpire in the league. A lot of people disagree with me, but I think he really does a great job on a weekly basis.
What I've seen, very clear in his decision making.
Yes.
Right or wrong, but at least there's clarity, and I think that's what you can ask for.
Consistent
any umpire.
and clear.
Yeah.
He's a really good role model for the young umpire as well as the junior coach.
Ben Anthony just picks up the ball quickly off the ground, and he gets it back again after bouncing up.
Ball bouncing.
Corcoran and Schiller fighting it out in the half-forward line, and some heavy body work there.
And free kick has been paid.
Ben Schiller gets it, and he plays on quickly, and if he's not careful, Guilfoyle is going to get done. Schiller kicks it out of the half-back line. The ball bounces, and Hokeless takes it over the line. Some bit of inconsistency out the back there. There needs to be some more communication, I think, for the Tanunda defence. And the pressure of the Angaston midfield and half forwards has been outstanding. Ruck tap, young Thompson gets quickly onto the left foot. And Hewson couldn't quite hold the mark, but the ball's been picked up and hand out.
Smith with a really good pickup. Kicks long. As
Foxy went to eat it like a pie. Didn't quite get there. Trainer
Schubert working hard. That handball comes back to Ryan, who kicks on the right.
Trying to play with the ball. Greenslade slots it in quickly.
Real
Jared
short
Traynor.
kick hits Jared Traynor for his first clean possession of the day. He'll go back, and he should slot this one. This is his bread and butter.
It'll be his second goal for the day if he can kick it. It's exactly what he's been brought the club to do. And unfortunately, a big body like that with so many outs at the moment on both sides, and of course there was a significant wedding by one of the Snowden boys, means that a lot of them from both clubs have disappeared for that. But it depletes the body mass.
Goes back, looks good.
Looks exceptional.
Very good goal there.
Very
from
happy
Traynor.
with that.
Very much needed goal for the Magpies. Brings them back within a couple of goals. So Angaston 4-1-25, leading Tanunda 2-1-13 on the Birds Barossa scoreboard.
Stabilises the offering at the moment, and I think it gives the Tanunda boys something to sink their teeth into for the next period. But again, we're looking at running defence on both sides. We're looking at really amazing ball control given the conditions. We have got slight drizzle, which means everything's greasy.
Yes, amazing. There is a little bit of drizzle, not making the ground too sloppy, but the ball is greasy and the players are slippery themselves. As beautiful pick up there in defence by Reinke.
Can't work out why Brooks let go.
Counter player in the middle. Just goes forward. Beautiful
Doherty.
pick up there from Doherty.
Great kick.
And that's a really good attempt at a mark there. Couldn't hold it in the end, but well picked up by Summerton. Umpires found a free kick going against Angaston
Young Brooks has
for holding.
got the ball.
So he's got a chance to give Tanunda another forward entry.
That's a fantastic mark there by young Hamish Martin.
Really impressive player. I've seen him a few times this year, and I'm really impressed with the way he goes about his football.
Last year's under 17.5 Bulldogs medalist, and has stepped into A-grade football over the last couple of years very comfortably.
Yes. Plays with the confidence of a senior footballer.
Without a doubt. See young number 30, Mitch Manning, coming on at his 50th senior game today.
That's impressive for a young player to rack up 50 so quickly.
Don't believe he'd be 19, maybe 20.
Kick underway. Umpire doesn't have to do a lot of work here, and it's a goal.
That's a fantastic kick there.
So Tanunda move closer again.
Back within one straight kick, which is, again, we spoke about it earlier, it's the quality of the football that we anticipated. It does seem strange that the scoring end appears to be the Maria Street end, or the southern end of the oval. There's no
right
real
of screen.
advantage. That'd be right of your radio dial. And it doesn't seem to be any breeze of note whatsoever, so defies logic, that one. It is uphill as well.
We don't deal in logic, it's football.
Rucks at it again, some heavy
Take
body
there by
work.
Corcoran.
And Tony charging out, possibly held without the ball.
The ball out, comes back to Tuckwell. He's wrapped up, drops the ball. Could have been a free kick there, and I think the umpire Prentice did see it, so he's really on top of it there. Long kick for Tanunda.
Guilfoy takes the mark, goes deep into the forward line. Traynor has taken the mark, sliding on the call to play
That
on.
is,
I'll say umpire
may have
Prentice.
caught some turf.
I'll say umpire Prentice was possibly blindsided by
He
the
possibly
position. Looking
was.
at the replay here, but the ball and delivery was exceptional.
It was.
Some heavy work going on in there, and we've just looked at the replay, and
I'm not sure if Ben Stokes would have claimed it.
I don't know. We can't argue. Game moving on.
Umpire was in a better position than you and I. As the wonderful secretary from the Tanunda Football Club pops into position.
Fantastic. With some little warm goodies for us. Thank you very much, Kristen Falkenberg. Fantastic servant of the Tanunda Football and Netball Club. Greenslade gets done for dropping the ball with a great tackle.
Great tackle there.
I can't tell who that is, but he's an exceptionally young
That was
person.
Angus Pfeiffer, who's a year out of under 17s. A really good young footballer.
It's a long ball into the forward 50.
And the ball comes to Summerton, who gets the ball on quickly to the advantage of his teammate, who's well spoiled there. And umpire looks like he has found a free kick for a push.
Okay.
So that'll be going to Durden.
Well, Ray, that was, different. But anyway.
Looked like it was there.
Of course it did. It went Angus's way. The Tanunda boys are enjoying their B-grade barbecue after their win by 1
It
point
does
over Angus.
smell good.
It smells pretty amazing, doesn't it?
Durden comes in now.
That's a handy kick.
Really good kick on the way. Puts it through and re-establishes a bit of a buffer for Angaston.
It was somewhat of an laconic kick.
Very relaxed style.
That's exceptional. Absolutely. So the beautiful Barossa Ranges in the background, looking a tad hazy.
Yes, it is a true winter's day. A lot of fog out there at the moment.
Being looked after very well. Oh,
This is the kind of catering we expect here at Tanunda. Thank you, Kristen.
absolutely fantastic.
She refused to join me on commentary last week. I just had to refer to her in absence.
As Queen Kristen,
Her Majesty.
that's it. The ball goes up in the middle. Again, a ruck duel in the mud. No
Right with
real
the
clear
tap.
winner.
Pick up there for Angaston.
Tuck
Quick
or
hit
deep.
forward. Durden couldn't quite hang on to that. Picks it up and he's taking the ground immediately.
That's a good battle down there between Durden and Westhoff.
A really good matchup.
Ball's been fought for and no clear winner, so Ray will throw it into the air. Is that our own Razor Ray?
Yes. Just a little bit more hair.
A little bit more hair. There's a push in the back awarded to Angaston.
Going the way of Tom Ryan, who with his left foot could have really put the ball deep, but chose the
Chooses not
handball.
to.
That was a little bit sloppy. Right, quick handball out. Tanunda now go forward. Corcoran there. Gets his hand to the ball, puts it over the boundary line. So we'll have a boundary throw in just outside the Tanunda forward 50.
Again, some great competitive ball movement from both sides, and showing in the evening up of how the how the sides are presenting and a bit more free flowing. We saw in the first quarter there's a lot of stoppage football as we anticipated with these conditions, but as I get used to it, there's going to be a bit more free flowing. The umpire's calling back the throw-in from the young boundary umpire, who looks about 2'6". Get it up there, young fellow. Have a crack and get the hell out of the road. That's much better. And the ball's again in dispute on the ground. Bodies flying everywhere, and there has been another free kick pulled out for
Going the way of Angaston.
Angaston.
Stephen Summerton looks like he was the
Both sides are trying to work out what the hell's going on.
centre of attention.
Somebody's made a decision. So
Good mark taken there for Angaston.
young Murphy kicks
They
it
go
and
way
clears
back.
it across.
Finds McInerney.
And there's a good contest there by Hewson. Hewson back on the ball, and one would have to say that's an outstanding tackle there by the young Tanunda player, resulting in a free
Harvey
kick.
taken down. Tried to do a bit too much with it. That's well defended there.
Trainer got caught 2 out.
Corcoran now with the ball. Just dropped it. That put himself into trouble.
That's it.
The ball now trickles over the boundary line.
Plenty of bodywork, heavy bodywork going on. There'll be some sore boys at the end of today, I should imagine.
Haven't had a lot of action right in front of our commentary position today. Most of the players been on the outer side. Roberts
Good ruck contest. Quick kick out by Greenslade forward. Hewson tackles the Angaston player there, frees up Sam Brooks. Sam Brooks pulling the ball out to Cahoon. Cahoon, unfortunately, couldn't get on it. Big body clash there and a high clash by the look of that. Wasn't called. And there'll be a ball up 30 metres out.
Umpire was blindsided there by several players.
And a couple of big bottoms.
Somebody now
Being shadowed by Brooks.
trying to get the ball. Gets the handball back.
Somewhat of a shovel out. That has been called
That's
a throw.
a big spot. Oh, free kick coming back. It's a good call by the umpire. You spotted it well with your one eye.
With my one eye by the post after a glass of red. Fantastic.
Lockie Earl comes to the bench. He looks like he's been in an absolute battle. He's replaced by young Axel Bignell. There's a big weight disparity in those two.
Looking from this angle, possibly a hair disparity too coming up.
That's too personal.
Bignell chasing the ball out. He played a tackle. The ball is out of bounds. It's still inside the Tanunda football
So
club.
we'll have a
50.
ball in just to the right of the grandstand here at Tanunda.
In front of the new clubroom development. Guilfoy in the ruck. Into tap.
Someone with a kick out of the air. Doesn't really go anywhere.
Ben Schiller just holds his ground to Cahoon. Tom Hahn can't pick up the ball, and then young Manning moving forward in his 50th game. The ball's in dispute, right in the goal square. Trainer
Knocked through for a minor score.
There's some real pressure being put on the Angaston defence by the pacey Tanunda half forwards.
Yes, Angaston really need to clear the ball through half back, as they have on this occasion.
Hopeless.
But really good pick-up there from Hopeless.
Manning. Manning to Doherty. Doherty bustles out.
Brings the ball straight back.
Cahoon. Oh, runs past the ball a bit, but can pick it up. Very clever. Get rid of it now, son. You're
He's
gone.
tackled, and that should be holding the ball.
There would be a lack of communication out there for the captain,
Yes.
The coach. Really unfortunate. And that ball has rapidly moved into the forward 50, and young Antoni is going to have a shot on goal.
He'll be going back for his third goal, and really well situated for his left foot style. Elevated himself to being the premier centre half forward in the competition this year.
Long kick from 45. Punch through for a minor score.
Through for a minor score, so now Tanunda looking to clear. Angaston just wanting to keep the ball in their forward half, just to give their backline a bit of respite.
It's been a very solid 10 minutes of arduous football around that Tanunda half forward zone. And I think you're right there, Teeks, that the Angaston defence has held up valiantly, to be honest. Very desperate. And the exit ball work's been outstanding.
Tanunda now bringing the ball back via Matt Westhoff. He plays on, goes long. No one able to get their two hands on that. Ball comes down to the young, speedy Tanunda footballers.
That's a great pick up there. And then I think that's young Bignell with a long raking
That's
ball.
a really good
into
kick.
the forward 50, but there's nobody on the ground.
Trainer held his position well, couldn't complete the mark.
It's a clever
Angaston
knock
have got
on.
players back there to work on it. It's coming straight back out. That
McInerney.
goes through the hands of Corcoran.
Oh, he's absolutely lost his footing and fallen in. Voigt there with a
Tanunda
great
now
handball
with some
out.
great handball. Picked up by Jay Shannon at halfback. He's found a player out wide.
That'll be Samo.
Two players who know each other really well. That's a good movement over. Finds Harvey, I believe.
Colhagen or
Yes, it would be Malachi Colhagen.
the hair. Long forward movement into the 50. Smith drops the ball at the halfback flank, which is very strange for a young Bailey Smith. He's one of the co-captains with his other captain.
Lockie Earl rejoining the game, replacing Brooks. as Tuckwell coming to the bench, and now is the moment. Here comes Kane Holmes, the package. This is the moment I've been waiting for all day.
It was almost a
One of my favourite players.
Dad directly behind us.
He'd be excited and very proud at the same time.
Absolutely.
Really good people, and one of my favourite players. Go
that's
get him, young
tough.
man.
A long ball down to the wing by Tanunda with a bit of heavy bodywork again, and we've got Cahoon just laying tackles like a machine at the moment out the wing.
He'd want to get one back for the holding the ball he was caught for earlier. He'd remember that and know that he owes one. Heavy work. So we'll have another stoppage on the outer side, almost on centre wing.
Continue with the stalemate. We're seeing the ball there being thrown back in by the diminutive boundary umpire with a quick ball into the forward 50 by Greenslade, but it's Tanunda takes out the Angaston defender. We've got a ball from Martin deep into the pocket, and Trainer has taken a mark. He's about 25 metres out on a very tight angle in front of the scoreboard.
Should be pretty simple for a modern footballer.
I think he's that's the deepest pockets here, so should be okay to see through that. Back in the day, I probably would have slotted it, but quite comfortably. But we'll wait and see how it goes.
Then you would have woken up.
I was kicking with a mini football late on a Tuesday night. But Jared Trainer's got it well within his repertoire.
Just across the face.
Oh, nearly a mark there, and they've called out of bounds on the full.
It's a bit of a lapse by the Angaston defence there.
Very lucky.
Cock to bring the ball back in. Comes down the near side. Looking for Antony, and ball goes through his hands.
Strong tackles laid on
the other Antony now wrapped up.
So there's one twig and one pull through, which is the...
There's Ben and Jaden.
Yes.
I think you've got the nicknames mixed up there with other people.
No, Ruckman being held, so Voigt is going to take the kick and drive Tanunda deep into their forward 50. But it's
really well defended there by Alex Reinke. Two-handed punch over the line.
Didn't really look like the best entry that could have been done into Tanunda's forward 50 there. It didn't go to the top of the square.
Too much of that today from the Magpies.
Absolutely. So we're seeing the ball being thrown in by the boundary umpire. Clean take by Roon Guilfoyle, but it's been taken by Corcoran in the goal square. Then the two former teammates from the league hook up and have driven it long, but Doherty cuts it off at half-forward flank for Tanunda.
Just looks beautiful when he gets on the
drills the ball to Cahoon, who is taken down after the mark has been taken and the 25-metre penalty being awarded.
That's the right call from umpire Prentice.
I believe so. The mark was there. There was no need for the extra movement.
No, and umpire Prentice, as we discussed earlier, really clear, concise, doesn't muck around, just makes the call, and that's one of the reasons I'm a fan.
Well, I'm glad you like the umpires.
I do. I think they do a really tough job and do it well.
We don't have a game without them.
No, we don't. And they've been really hit with numbers and unavailability at times this year. We do need to increase our numbers for the BLG panel.
That's a goal to Cahoon. And that brings Tanunda right back into this game. He's back to one straight kick there with the Burge Barossa scoreboard showing Tanunda 4-2-26. Angaston 5-2-32.
And this Tanunda really this quarter belonging to Tanunda. Angaston have really lowered their colours this quarter, but Tanunda have stepped up big time.
Just while we're taking the break, we're getting ready for the ball up. In the AFL, we've got Richmond 76 over North 67, and we've got the Suns 49 behind Carlton now, 55 by a goal. Cahoon quickly into the forward 50, and there's a battle on for the ball.
Good pick up there for Angaston.
What a smother, fantastic smother, and a knee to the back of the head.
Another smother.
Oh, I think the young Hahn boy is in a bit of trouble here.
In real trouble.
William
Parker now chasing.
That is unfortunate. He's going to give up the ball on that one.
Deliberate. I think it was more intentional than deliberate, personally.
I don't think he could have done anything about that. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Good chip
that call.
kick in.
It is one of the most ridiculous calls that.
Well, it was last touch anyway.
Last touch, I agree, but you cannot call that deliberate. Now we've got a 25 metre
paid, and Murphy goes long, all the way to the goal square. That's spoiled, comes down, and we'll go out of bounds for a boundary throw in, just around from Angaston's goal.
Teeks, I'll agree that good clear umpiring is fantastic. Over officious is not. And when you start believing in your own capabilities at that level, then you start putting yourself above the game, and some of those decisions are a bit razor ray.
No, that decision was taken out of his hands because it was a deliberate out of bounds. Well, last touch, sorry, takes the deliberate out of play. That's why this rule should be in the AFL.
I disagree. I'll disagree with you on that one. Let's go with the ball up here in the forward 50 for Angaston as Lockie Earl,
little bit of a rugby pass there.
Manages to get it out, and a beautiful delivery by Hahn to Mitch Manning.
Hahn who's recovered well.
We're going to young Jacobs Hoosen, and he's picked up the ball beautifully. He's
being
going to have
chased
a
by
crack.
Kane Holmes, who
the ball
spoils him at
deep in the forward 50. Trainer has a shot on goal, and that's a fantastic ball movement right from the defensive 50.
And
all the way
Tanunda
through.
hit the lead for the first time today.
We'll be calling it all square, I believe.
Okay.
But I do like that. One more point each and we'll be even.
Yes.
That's Jared Trainer's third goal for the day, so it's a good situation to be in at the moment. We're seeing this contest, as we said right from the start. Get in your cars, get down here. Watch
There's
the second
plenty
half
of
of this
spots on the
game.
boundary line. You can come around to the bar. There's a lot of room. Room in the grandstand as well. It's not that cold, actually.
It's really quite comfortable.
Not had to resort to the
Great
scarf
rough
yet.
tap down. Cahoon driving the ball into the forward 50.
Angaston defenders wrapped up as the siren goes for three-quarter time, possibly saving Angaston
Be half
from
time, I believe.
half-time, possibly saving Angaston from conceding another goal, as that quarter well and truly belonged to the Magpies. As they roared back into the game to level the scores by half-time.
Bit of feeling in the game. There's
Some electric football being played.
And some of the young fellas are starting to flex a bit. They've had a year now where both sides have really had to grind out games and had their moments, and there's a bit of belief coming in. I think we're seeing the next generation of amazing football for the BL&G come through from local crop, which has been fantastic to see.
Yes. And we will rejoin you for the second half shortly.
Medium boy. What do you want? Pale. Do you want it beer? Oh, that was terrible.
When I saw you shot the job done,
Where's your bloody sidekick go? He was standing next to him.
Takes.
Come on.
I wonder where you got to.
I had to go to the toilet. Okay.
Why didn't you go in the official room?
Sorry?
You brought this down here.
I'm not eligible.
No,
Hey, the small girls.
I saw your mum before, gave her a hug. I was really happy to see her.
Yeah, we
Thank you. Oh, it was cold. And the kids just dropped a couple of days.
That'd be cool.
to our live broadcast from Tanunda Oval.
Good to be back, Mr. Teakle. Had a little refreshment break.
Yes, and we got to enjoy some sampling of your product from Ben Murray Wines.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
really great product. I'm a big fan of your Shiraz.
thank you very much.
And the Grenache we just had was an absolute stunner as well.
Just come out of barrel last night.
I'm expecting a delivery shortly for Cash for Comments.
No.
Just a dozen of each would be nice.
You sound like John Laws. What the hell's going on here?
No, he's cheaper than I am.
Oh dear. We better do that, old golden tonsils. All right, well, let's get back to what we're here for, and that is a
cracking game of football. Half-time, scores are level at 5-2 apiece on the Birds Barossa scoreboard. But that's what we expected. We expected tight, hard, contested footy, and that's what we've gotten.
It's fantastic. The energy by these young blokes and the experienced blokes throwing their bodies around. It is stunning to see. And in conditions that, to be honest, we play it up a bit, but they are not the best for handling the ball.
No, the middle of the ground, as you can see, the cricket pitch is black mud. Not too deep, but it is slick and slippery. I wouldn't want to try and walk through it, let alone play in it.
No, indeed. And we've had about 8 or 10 mil of rain overnight, and it was pretty heavy in some times. So it's one of those conditions where that late winter, there's residual moisture, and it just has an effect. And that ball, it doesn't get any lighter. So, but the umpires are calling the players in. Both are huddled up, and I'd like to say though, like we're looking at kids, Archie Haddon,
Malachi
Colhagen, even there's a lot of experience in the two Antony boys, but seeing these young players, Holmes and Harvey, and it's really exciting to see.
Don't mention Holmes too much. I'm just trying to calm down. It's all about the package.
So we do have the package's father sitting behind us. He's not plying us with anything that gets any sort of beneficial commentary either. So, but
I think the term is giving us nothing.
Giving us bugger all. So, but as Angaston are down there having a soiree, warming each other's hands up, we're getting ready to go. And the Tanunda boys are in the middle, just feeling the mud and ready to play another tough second half of footy here at Tanunda Oval. We do notice that the clouds are down to 300 feet and starting
to drop a couple of degrees during half-time, is what I feel.
Just above freezing. And I think I'm really excited by the second half and seeing what we can get. We had a great second quarter by Tanunda, heading to the right of your radio dial, but they'll be heading towards the nearest end of the oval, the Park Street end. Angaston would be coming back quite buoyed by their defensive effort and a bit disappointed with their attacking effort.
Yes, Pet Cup still up for grabs, scores level with 1 half to play. Everything on the line here.
This is about pride.
Absolutely, and neither ruckman able to really affect that tap. And Lockie Earl wrapped up, as he does, just a bull at the bottom of the pack. That's where he lives.
The sides today too are playing for the Pet Cup and the Kleinig medal awarded to the best player on the ground, recognising significant families.
That kick forward for Angaston, well defended by Doherty. Ball comes through, that quick handball out, picked up by Corcoran. He couldn't get it to anyone, but Tuckwell now with a good little chip kick. He's found Schubert. That's a really good, clever, well-weighted pass. Actually, no, it was Colhagen, sorry.
Colhagen coming in for the kick, and I think he's
a really good goal kicker.
He's ditched the long sleeve for the second half.
He's finally warmed up. That's a good sign.
Well, he got them little tiny white arms there. I reckon he might.
Not kicking with his arms, he'll be fine.
He should have been putting the jumper back on if I was him. But here he comes in from 35 out. A bit of a dog's donkey off the boot, and it's gone beyond the stick.
Just offline. Umpire Hayden signalling a minor score.
You wouldn't want to be taking photographs of that kick.
No, that wasn't pretty in the end. He'd be disappointed with that.
I'm sure.
And his father, a former Tanunda player himself, would be probably disappointed with it as well. He has come over to the light side.
It's all about postcodes, mate, and that's all it is, really. But Matthew Westhoff with a very long kick down to the centre wing there from defence. But some great work by the Angaston defenders. But the ball's hit the ground, it's in dispute. Handball up. Great attack there by young Harvey.
Yeah, Tom Ryan with a big long kick. Summerton dives on the ball.
There's a Tanunda player down over on the wing with a shoulder by the looks, and it looks like it
Big heavy
possibly
tackle, so we'll have a ball up almost on centre wing.
Young Voigt, the ruckman journeying in. Still wins the tap though with the good arm. Fight there by Earl. Hahn gets the ball off the back of the pack, and there's a one-armed attempt because the other one was being held.
That was Bignell. Good mark there for Tuckwell. He turns. He's got a player on the outer wing in Jaden Antony, who marks. Look to play on straight away. Goes by foot now.
Smith spoils brilliantly for Tanunda. There's a bit of a battle there between Summit and Hahn on the bottom of the pack, and young Thomas Hahn there, I think, did really well.
Really well against a 200-plus game league footballer, former league captain, and best and fairest winner.
Male medalist, McGarry medalist. So
no, didn't win a Gary.
I thought he did.
Won a couple of Port Adelaide best and fairest. You're thinking Kirkwood, who...
That's right, we had. And it hits the post.
So a minor score for Angaston.
That's correct, yeah. Zane Kirkwood for the last
Yes,
couple
you
of
are confusing your former Port Adelaide players.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, the more Port Adelaide players we have in this competition, the better.
The better. We're both agreeing on that.
It's bringing absolute class to the competition.
Indeed. Smith, the nephew of a Port great, and Darren, delivers to Jared Traynor. And
still a good musician in his own right these days, playing in a band over in Port Lincoln.
So he should. But we can't work out why that much. The trainer wasn't paid. But anyway, it's the ball up out on the wing.
Yes, I've seen Darren ply his trade as a muso over in Lincoln.
His brother Craig is exceptional on the guitar. And so we're out of bounds on the full, I believe, with Tanunda to bring the ball back in once it is recovered from the second playing field over there.
Which is another great addition here at Tanunda, the mini oval for the young footballers and cricketers to ply their trade on, so they get to play at the same time as their older brothers and get to be a part of game day.
How good was it today? I was in here earlier delivering a few parcels for the sponsors day, and the place was packed right from the start with kids playing their
families.
Sport.
That's what it's all about, families being here.
Accessibility. So some heavy work, and again Lockie Elders picks himself up off the bottom of the pack. He seems to thrive down there.
Umpire comes over, bowls it up, and Voigt again winning that tap. He's had the dominant efforts in the ruck today. And we'll have yet a repeat ball, almost the same spot for 3 in a row.
Yeah, Voigt's just a big body, great skills.
Got some good craft.
Good tack, great tap down there. Handball out by Hahn to Cahoon. Cahoon's free and driving from half forward deep into the forward 50. And who's that down there for Tanunda? It's
Guilfoy playing forward.
Rory Guilfoy. Premiership Sturt centre half back.
Playing forward, which is something we haven't seen much of this year.
Yeah.
But his size and ability will cause a real headache for the Panthers.
It's a great foil too, because you've got another big body down there to help Traynor.
Yes, Traynor is probably best suited to being a second foil.
They fly for the ball. A lot of activity there, but Angaston have come back with some beautiful flowing movement off half-back
Jaden Antony moving the ball forward. Durden spoiled from behind, and a chop of the arms awarded against Matthew Westhoff. So Durden now with a chance to deliver the Panthers deep into their forward line.
65 out with a short kick.
Goes short, just over the head of Jaden Antony. Tanunda players wrapped up immediately. So we have a ball up probably 30 metres out from the Angaston goal. There's another glass of Ben Murray Grenache being poured.
That'll be my cellar hand, Spud Murphy, life member.
It's quality control. He's got to know what it's like.
37 years experience at Yolumba, so I reckon he knows what he's doing. And looks like we've got Dylan Tuckle who's going to take a shot on goal for a free kick. About 25 metres out on a slight angle.
Should be. Distance is not an issue. Accuracy is where we're going to question him. Coming in now. Look good off the boot.
I think he's pulled
Umpire
it.
does a little bit of work to the right for a minor score.
So Angaston's had a couple of cracks at the goal early in this third quarter and probably missed an opportunity to sort of create some separation there. And I think it would be interesting. Tanunda's opportunity now is to have some rapid movement, get a return
That
goal.
would be their aim. And Matt Westhoff now playing on, goes long down that outer side as he is wont to do. Angaston player flies and brings the ball against Summerton, picks it up.
Turned into trouble,
But it's so good that turning into trouble isn't trouble for him.
No. There's some heavy body work out there and the ball goes out of bounds, and I believe Tanunda has last touch, so it's being brought in by young Thomas Hahn out there. He's got a lot of the ball today.
He has got a lot of the ball. He is
being able to get up again after a couple of...
He would be top 5 in Tanunda's best and fairest this year.
I think so.
And that is a huge achievement for such a young player.
Yeah, the young Tanunda player overran the ball. Angaston are bringing the ball out across the half-back flank. That's a clever kick to clear.
Well weighted. Finds a teammate. He moves the ball quickly. Finds Summerton on the outside. Spoiled. He couldn't quite hang on to it.
And there's a bit of a ball up here, so neutral conditions. Now, we do have to, Mr. Teakle, we have to take note because we're part of the Kleinig medal count. So,
are we?
Yes, we got notified of that at half time.
That's good to know.
So, these comments you need to...
Well, you're not getting a vote.
I'm not getting a vote?
No,
okay.
You have not played well so far.
Oh,
you're not getting anything.
I think I've played the fairest I've played in a long time. So... Not too much blood on the knuckles. Right, we've got a ball and it's rolling maul going into the forward 50 for Tanunda.
And umpire Prentice comes in. He'll take control of the situation. Ball up again. And Voigt takes it out of the ruck. A quick kick towards goal.
Greenslade's got the ball. He's handed off to young Jacobus Hooson. And unfortunately he's kicked it behind the stick.
Golden opportunity gone begging for the Magpies there. Probably the first mistake young Houston's made all day. Houston, however I'm supposed to say it.
Yeah.
I apologise to his family for getting it wrong and for mislabelling him earlier in the game as Axel Bignell. Long kick out of the fence for Angaston. That's a strong mark taken there. Looks like Matt Westhoff is pushed right up the ground. No. I've got that wrong. Ball into the forward line. And holding the ball paid.
Just responding to a text message from long-time club legend and committee member Mark Hokeless. Normal goal umpire for Tanunda is currently at the bend watching the Supercars. Wanted to get the
handball over now. Tom Ryan, he's got plenty of space. Goes on the left. Looking for Antoni. Just goes through his hands on a spoil.
William Parker picks up cleanly and gives a
really good handball to Greenslade.
Greenslade, the ball gets dropped by Brooks. Brooks is attacking the ball and it's the last kick out will be for Tanunda. I believe it should be. It came clearly off the boot.
Brooks to bring it back in.
The umpire from several hundred metres away has called in that it's a throw in.
It did look like it was a contested ball.
Still not quite comfortable with that. So
no,
anyway,
that's okay. As long as the umpires get it right.
Right contest goes in and some strong tackling.
Everyone's just wrapped up immediately. Tom Ryan was in there.
Voigt again winning. He would have won 85% of the taps today.
Good clearance there for the Panthers. Comes
Dave
out.
Shannon is being tackled heavily by Ben Schiller.
Those two are the perfect antagonists to go toe-to-toe. Neither would take a backward step.
Oh,
That
that's
wasn't
a miskick
pretty.
from Greenslade after a great ruck tap by Voigt. Popropny lays the tackle, possibly high on Lockie Earl, but it'll be a ball up again.
Big tap from Voigt. Comes out to open space.
Some shepherding going on, which is good. And
Paprotny steals the ball from under Hahn, who slid over it. Young Hopeless with a great spoil. Angaston player, Durden picks up the ball, gets the handball away, and that ball bounces out of bounds.
Mongrel one off the boot,
And
there's
a little bit of
activity.
attention there, so there will be a last touch free kick. And
Matthew
a
Westhoff is
little
gonna bring-
surprised there wasn't a 25-metre penalty applied.
Indeed. Good leg to Greenslade. Greenslade.
Turns, he burns to the outer side.
And here we go. We've got young Hamish Martin on the
Oh,
top.
here's Jackson Murphy. Martin goes long into the forward line. But Corcoran's
Delivery.
back there.
Delivered by the Tanunda blokes.
Brings the
into
ball in.
forward 50 has been quite messy.
Finds McInerney. And he finds player in Schubert on the near side. Schubert goes back in. Finds McInerney again. He's got Paprotny in the middle, all on his own. This next kick is where Angaston have been falling down in the last 2 quarters. He goes short. Finds a player on firmer ground to kick from. That's clever.
Tom Ryan with the ball on the outside of the oval there. Long
He
into
goes
the forward
long.
50.
Typical left footer with a big left foot kick. Well picked up off the pack there. Kick around the corner. Lockie L uses his strength. Takes an easy mark. So he'll clear for Tanunda. He's got players screaming for the ball.
Both sides haven't made the money. That's a really good mark there by young William Parker.
Very well done. He was under all kinds of pressure. A chip kick in. Really good to Hahn. He hands off to Doherty. Doherty goes on the left. Chips up and under.
That's a good mark by Voigt.
That's all power.
The body difference between those two ruckmen has been telling today.
He goes long into the forward line.
And a great defensive mark back
That
there.
is an excellent take.
And we're seeing the football being played between both arcs, and it's being highlighted by poor entry into
McInerney to bring the ball out now. He comes long down towards the grandstand. Ball at the back of the contest there. No,
Called play on by touched.
It's called play on. He's probably a little unlucky there. He thought he had the mark. Umpire Prentice wasn't having any of it though. He knew exactly what had happened.
There's a fantastic ruck tap. The ruck craft of Voigt today has been a pleasure to watch.
It has been superb. The best I've seen him play in the last 2 years, I would say.
I agree. I think he's really, really strong at the ball. Cahoon barking orders as the coach.
Another good tap. Comes to
Paprotny intercepts.
Paprotny. He just kicks it in desperation. No one can take it clean. Summerton's there. He's taken the ground. Wrapped up around the head. But the umpire's going to ball it up. Prentice doing a really good job controlling the emotion in this game.
A lot of physicality at the moment.
Paprotny
It's
with a
actually really
good tap.
strong.
Hokeless just happy to run it over the boundary line.
Yeah, I don't believe that you can call for anything like that in country footy, but no, it is really intriguing football. It's actually quite good.
It is like a chess game but with physicality. Calhoun stripped of the ball.
Handball out from...
And there's a good kick around the corner from Murphy into space, but gives Antonio a chance.
Smith's work there was exceptional, with a great handball to the running Cahoon. Cahoon streaming down the wing, long ball into 50. Is Trainer going to be able to pick it up and give the ball off to somebody in
Corcoran
front?
tackled him and is done holding the ball.
I believe it was incorrect disposal was the call from the umpire
Well,
there, and both the...
Either way, it's a free kick.
It's blindsided again, but anyway, they're the calls.
He goes long down the outer side.
Well spoilt there by Smith on Antony.
Jaden Antony that time.
Quite a stalemate, isn't there? It's real arm wrestle at the moment. There's tension in the game.
There's been 4 points scored this quarter.
The Birds Brossa scoreboard, it's under 5-3-33 to Angaston 5-5-35. Goes deep into the forward 50, and again, uncontested mark to the Angaston player there in McInerney.
Good take there.
Corcoran at halfback. Making leads for him. Been called to play on.
He finds a player.
Young Miles Harvey there with the ball.
And looking for Cole Hagen, just
Hagen
overshoots him. Haddon picks it up and goes over the line, and Hopeless deciding to introduce himself to his former under-17s opponent.
These boys, probably not a lot of love lost outside of the school days either, I should imagine. There's a fair bit of stuff going on.
And
they'll be at
their fathers would have been like that against each other for many years.
I do not doubt that, and I would have expected nothing less. And that is a great ruck tackle. That is a fantastic
taken
ruck tackle.
down.
There is a bit of feeling in the game at the moment, which is good.
So
I like to see this.
Voigt definitely is the player who's standing out to me at the moment.
Totally.
That's a really well-weighted kick to Greenslade. No one else could get to that.
Greenslade looking at how he's going to and again, Thomas Hahn is on his backside, but that's a beautiful mark there by Jacobus. Young Houston goes long into the forward 50. They're wrestling away in the half-forward line. Stacks on the mill.
And we'll have another ball up inside Tanunda's forward 50. Probably 45 metres from goal at this stage. But Tanunda really looking the stronger team at the moment.
Proprotny dropped the ball. Hahn with
Beautiful
a great
handball there.
Oh, and then back up by Doherty. Doherty to Manning.
Good, well cut off there.
Lockie Earl with quick hands out.
That comes out to Hahn.
Thomas
Hahn with a flying shot on goal. Just offline. Another minor score. That's all we're seeing this quarter. It's not raining goals, it's drizzling points.
Drizzling points. It's misting points, I think we'd call it.
It's almost fog.
Fogging points. Can you fog a point?
I've fogged a few things.
I'm sure you have. So we've got Tanunda 5-4-34 to Angaston 5-5-35 in a typical arm wrestle.
Getting quite dark. Probably time to put the lights on here at Tanunda.
I'd have to call the president and get a switch flicked. It
wouldn't be inappropriate.
Indeed, especially the new lights.
Yes, the lights, another improvement they've made here at Tanunda Oval. Really excellent quality. Quickly becoming a first-class facility. And talk of a possible gather-round match being held here at Tanunda, which would be fantastic. Not only for Tanunda, but for the entire region.
Indeed. Angaston moving forward into their forward 50 with a great pickup.
Should be holding the ball.
Tackle.
That is a great tackle to dispossess him at the same time as wrapping him up. That is clinical.
Again, that's Thomas Hahn.
He is having a great game, playing out of his skin.
Indeed. I think we're looking at
Chip kick to Smith.
Bit of drizzle just starting to come through.
Finds Doherty.
Young Thompson there just threads the needle to Ben Schiller.
Young to old.
Playing on. Lockie Earls positioned himself well in the wing.
Good handball.
It up. Great run on football by young Thompson into Jared Trainer. Takes the fly but can't mark the ball. We've got Summit and Selling Candy dropping the ball out.
Finds Tuckwell. Tuckwell goes with the left back to Summerton.
Brothers from a different mother, I think.
Just really composed. They're just long sleeve brothers. They're part of the long sleeve mafia. Tom Ryan, another member of that clan.
Oh, that's a
fantastic
mark by.
That's brilliant defence from Westhoff.
Westhoff to Smith. Smith.
A little bit on the outside of the boot.
Yep. There's a bit of there's a hand in there that's really important. Well picked up by Darcy Thompson.
Having a real purple patch.
To the full forward running out. Hahn in with his head over the ball.
He's taken down
And
with a
again.
high tackle.
Bit upset there, young Corcoran. He's didn't like that too much. But I think it was well earnt, that free kick.
I'm not sure how you can be upset when you're not the one that's had your head ripped off.
Defies logic. There's a shot on goal, snap shot on the fly. I think it's young Manning there for a behind the stick, and that takes the scores to a level at 5-5-35 apiece.
As we've now had 6 points scored for the quarter.
It's exceptional.
This is,
football.
it's not something that you'd call pretty, but this is what purists of the game love. It's what I love. This is hard, contested bowl football.
It's what you get up in the morning for on a day like
This
this.
is grown men going toe-to-toe. It's like a boxing match.
And the talent with all these kids. There is a bundle of kids that are playing, into the fence, young
As we
Anthony.
see one of the league directors make his way into the grandstand, Lou Neldner.
Christopher Neldner there, just wandering in like the man. Anthony picks himself up from 7 kilometres through the fence and kicks back to James Popotny at half-back. And called to play on. That's
Goes
a very
right across
long,
the ground. That's a big switch.
big switch to
Finds Summerton
Summerton.
on the bounce. Summerton just slows it down. He goes back. Just valuing possession at the moment.
A lot of
They know they've got a
experience.
lot of work to do. Finds Murphy. Murphy goes to play on, then stopped. Goes again. Finds Reinke on the outer side. Reinke with quick hands.
Summerton. Good ball. There's a shove out there that was
Good
allowed to
handball.
go.
Finds player on the run. That kick, a little ugly. Well picked up in
Smith
defence.
Just
Smith.
barrels it out of the defensive 50.
And a good mark taken by Summit again, who looks like he's got his own football at the moment.
Getting very dark here. Have sent a message through to the President's
Let's see what the service is like.
See what it's like. Summerton's collecting his own statistics at the moment. I don't know if they're terribly effective though.
He just needs someone to go with him. For the
Very much
Panthers.
an arm wrestle today.
Goes down the line. He's found the target this time. It's a good lead. This will drive the Panthers deep into attack. Good spoil though. Comes down. That's a
Fantastic tackle.
massive tackle. That
Again.
hurt me from this far away.
The young Angaston player, front and centre. The Tanunda player on his heels. That's exactly what we saw all quarter. And we've got the same result. Without a goal being kicked in the third quarter, we've had exciting football.
That's 3 points for each team. You wouldn't say it's pretty football. It's not high scoring, which people love, but that was an enthralling quarter of football. That's what people pay to watch.
I think that's amazing.
I mean, we are on the edge of our seats here at the moment because no one knows how this game is going to turn out.
No. There's a lot
The
of
last
football.
quarter is going to have so much in it for everyone.
Well, as we discussed, it's a couple of clubs that have been very proud in their history for a very long time.
Yes.
It's
They're near
100 plus
neighbours.
years.
They don't get along, so they're going to get it on.
Do you know between these two clubs, though, there's been some outstanding after-hours work.
There has been, and a lot of planning has been done after hours. A lot of it hasn't come to fruition, but it's a great rivalry off the field as well.
Oh, without a doubt. It's we'll just move the bottles that we've got, keeping ourselves hydrated on a cold day.
I feel like I'm at a wine show.
Might as well look after some of the sponsors.
Absolutely, as the mist looks like it's getting a little bit heavier here at Tanunda.
It's definitely coming in, and the last quarter, I'm really excited to see what happens here. How does it break open? Does it?
And it's not going to
get a
take a
result.
lot. It's not going to have to be an entire quarter of dominance.
Just watching a warrior for Angaston walk out in
The GOAT, the greatest of
greatest
all time.
I think
Over 450 games.
450 senior games of football, Decker.
Currently coaching the reserves, giving something back.
And still in his footy gear.
Yes,
And-
on the sidelines, helping out with the coaching for the team for the A grade.
With a calf the size of a football. It looks like it is. I don't know how he's walking on that thing. It's so torn.
And
But
yet
so-
by tomorrow he'll be fine.
Oh, incredible. and again, we go back to the relationship between the two clubs. It's fantastic. But here we are, cold August day,
30 seconds of football could win this game.
without a doubt. And but we're seeing the next generation on both sides. The young teams, really exciting.
It's so exciting because this is what we're going to be watching for the next 15 years. Is the basis of these two teams are already set.
Absolutely.
This is the heart and soul of the next 15 years on display.
We think about all those kids that are now from both clubs that are playing league or reserves footy at central districts and the like, and they'll come back at some stage.
Yes.
It's really exciting.
And there's kids, young players in other competitions at the moment. They're away for work, but there's good chances they'll come back.
Yep.
The Barossa is a great draw card. They'll find work back here one day and drift back and come back to their home club because now the facilities are so welcoming. You want to be here. Like Tanunda's new facility is going to be first class. It's going to be
the lights on.
The lights are on. You do have some sway after all. I was doubting you.
Put it on. But and I think as we look at it, and you touched upon it before with gather round and those sorts of things. We've had a couple of national carnivals now in underage and also abilities. We start seeing the exposure of the region as a home for great state-based football. And
for sport tourism.
It's fantastic. So
sport tourism is a massive part of our economy, and it will only get bigger and bigger for the Barossa Valley with the money that the council and the governments are putting in.
Just quickly, SANFL scores. It's all tied up at Prospect Oval. It's 55. It's 55 to 52 now, with the
So
Roosters
not tied up.
I put my glasses on and I can see that it's 8-7-55 for North to 7-10-52 for the Bulldogs. Very tight game between the lowly placed Eagles and the top of the table Tigers. It's 12-3-75 for the Eagles to 11-7-73 for the Tigers.
Go the Eagles.
So 12-3. That's great kicking in this weather.
Not an Eagles fan, I just don't like the Tigers.
No, I agree with you there. Red Leagues are up by 11 points over the Bloods. The Adelaide is being done by Sturt by 11 points. And as a Port man, I'm really happy with that. But here we go, full time at Flinders University Stadium, 15-7, 97 the Panthers to 14-13, 97 Port Adelaide.
That hurts, but that's bad kicking's bad football.
Bad kicking's bad football, but how exciting is that? That would have been a great game to be at, to be honest. And 15.5 goals was really, really amazing. And in the AFL, we have Richmond have defeated North Melbourne, and good on Cochin and Rewalt and Zeeble in that, 101 to 72, and it's a close one still at Heritage Bank Stadium with the Suns 80 to Carlton 84 deep into the fourth quarter.
Great results, but I'm more interested in what we're going to see here in this last quarter. Players now back in action. Ball goes out to the half-forward flank. Angaston kicking to the left of your screen this quarter. So first goal here is going to mean a lot in these conditions. As we see a bus just entering the ground, spectators have finally got excited. They've made their way down. And good kick around from the back of the contest there from Doherty. Marked well by McInerney.
Might be the nursing home bus coming in for an afternoon out.
It could be to pick you up to take you home. They know you're nearly done for the day.
Oh, the ball was missed there by the Tanunda player, but Doherty mops up on half-back flank, and it's gone out of bounds.
And Angaston pushing hard here. They want that first goal because that's going to mean a lot in these conditions.
Somehow that was given last touch. I thought it was a contest, but
we're a long way from the ball. The umpires are much better placed.
Strong defensive work there by Ben Schiller. And we've got a ball in.
Good throw in there from a senior boundary umpire.
Young Manning losing his footing, unfortunately, for the Tanunda
Just
player
getting
there.
slipperier out there now.
Do they use long stops these days?
No, they don't. No, they do not at all because of comfort reasons. They use a moulded sole in all circumstances, and different styles perform differently in different conditions, but they don't use the screw-in sprigs like you would have in your day.
No, it defies logic for some reason. It's Proprotny's kicked a very high ball deep into the forward line.
Well
It's
picked up
bounced.
there for Tanunda.
That's Cahoon that's picked it up. Out to
Comes out
Thompson.
to- He's looking for a player. Doesn't have a lot on offer here. Umpire
Big boys
tells
are
him to
starting
move it.
over. So Guilfoy's coming in for the mark.
Guilfoy
That's
removed the
jump.
Angaston player.
Jacobus Howson.
Has been awesome today. Finds Earl in the middle. He juggles that mark.
That's good, and he's moved.
Wheels around onto his right. He's looking for Guilfoy.
Guilfoy.
Well spoiled there by Tom Ryan. And that's a very important spoil because if Guilfoy took that, Tanunda were out.
Absolutely, that was great reading of the ball by Ryan, and great, again, another stalwart of the club, been around for a very long time, played a lot of footy. So we've got the young boundary umpire throwing the ball in.
And Voigt collects his own ruck work. Brings it down to Colhoun. Gets the handball over to Hahn. That's a beautiful kick forward.
Well, it's bouncing off. Brooks can't stop himself, and
McInerney
he's been
wraps him
tackled
up.
as he goes.
McInerney said, "That's it, you're going nowhere."
McInerney's been fantastic.
He's
in that
been
back
really
pocket.
good today. He's been the most important factor in defence for Angaston.
Strong tackle there by Lockie Earl again. And I think we're going to have a few names to consider here.
It's going to be not going to be
Medal.
easy.
Not at all. That's a great handball.
Beautiful
there.
handball. Good
By
kick
McInerney.
around the corner there.
Schiller being held and still marked.
Benny
the ball.
Schiller, who's a little pest, is probably the nicest way 8 other clubs would describe him.
Inspirational. Ball goes in. Good
Great
boy.
take off the pack by Greenslade.
Thomas Hahn.
He's wrapped up by Summerton. Turned into that.
I think he was trying to play for a bit of a free kick there, but it wasn't going to happen. You got a person of Summerton's experience. He's not going to be sucking into that one. Some strong work in that pack there. Great pick up by Guilfoy again, but we're going to have another ball up. This will be the
I think Guilfoy's going to have huge say in this final quarter. He's in the ruck now. Got that tap. Summerton just gets it forward. There's a kick out of the air.
ball.
That's into space. It's Durden who got that on the outside of the boot, and that really hasn't worked well.
Not at all. And Smith has really cleared the ball hard. to the
Ryan,
boundary.
he's got some space on Brooks now.
And he's following up.
Gets a long kick down the line. Bit of a chaos ball. That's going to trickle out of bounds. Tanunda happy to see that over, knowing they get the kick back in.
Doherty with the ball out there in front of the towards the wide side.
He's coming in now, going down the line. See.
Pretty clearly being held there, young Smith. The Angaston ruckman had a fair collar of shirt in that, but
Now Earl's got the ball.
are we calling it?
He's giving it back to the boundary umpire. Tried to milk it.
The vagaries of that interpretation are the one thing that really get me about it. That rule.
Really no vagary at all. It's either contested or it's clearly off a player. Angaston with a good intercept there at half-back. They found Murphy in the middle. This is their chance to go now. Murphy on the left. He's got a player downfield in Proprotny. He pushes back off the mark, wheels around onto his right, heads towards the top of the goal square. Durden,
Benny Schiller's tried to cut
sorry, it
through,
was
kick the
Shannon,
ball.
probably being held a little bit.
Shannon.
It was a wrestling, holding on both sides there. So Tanunda to bring the ball in.
That is a lot to ask of Sam Cahoon, but an amazing pickup. And Guilfoy sliding
Slides, couldn't complete the mark as Cock recovers well, heads inboards.
in. Well spoilt by Voigt. And
Players
young
diving
Angaston
on the ball
players,
now.
Young Hokeless there in behind.
Hadden versus
Archie
Hokeless.
Haddon and Hokeless.
They don't like each other. We saw that earlier.
They might have a refreshment together afterwards.
One's a ginger, one's a blonde.
Cahoon kicking it forward into the 50.
Guilfoyle with a really powerful mark in front of Cock. That's not the prettiest of kicks, but it's effective. Well spoiled by Reinke though.
There's a shot on goal by Brooks. The ball has bounced through from a snap from way out at 40 metres.
That's a great goal from Sammy Brooks.
Fantastic goal for Tanunda.
That could be a match-winning goal from Sam Brooks.
We talk about moments.
I told you it wasn't going to be an entire quarter effort. It could be a 30-second moment, and that's where Tanunda has just swung this game.
Your call earlier that Guilfoyle is going to have a significant impact, shown when that very strong mark inside the 50 to get the ball down into the forward 50.
I can't believe you're surprised by that.
Not surprised. I'm just reiterating. Concurring.
Yes, and Voigt is back in the ruck now.
The quality of the football in the conditions. I think it's been outstanding.
Some of the pickups, one-handed in these wet conditions at speed, have been a glory to watch. Absolutely beautiful. This is the stuff I love. I grew up watching people like Russell Ebert in wet conditions pick the ball up one-handed. That is a skill in itself that is rarely taught, or can't be taught.
No, you can't. We've just seen
That's
that.
a beautiful handball there. Murphy now tried to go off the ground, overran it. Let Tanunda in here. That ball goes up in the air.
Into forward 50.
Everyone flies. Had Howson at ground level.
Mitch Manning there.
He's wrapped up, taken down.
Up. And again,
really good tackle from Haddon.
We've got these young, energetic footballers.
And tackling is a talent. Tackling is a skill that so many people don't rate.
Shepherding for each other and playing real good 1% football in these conditions.
That's a really good effort there.
That is a fantastic tackle and a lockdown on the Angaston player.
Very hard not to give a free kick away in that situation. But he's managed to do it.
Absolutely. And Tom Corkin's been fantastic for Angaston today.
Voigt with the tap down. No one able to get clean ball. Earl just wraps Haddon up.
Bit of work off the ball happening as well, so on both sides. No love lost, I think, between a few. Ruck tap again. Fantastic too. Fantastic.
And
tap.
looks like
Hamish Martin.
Haddon has given away a free kick.
Has taken the ball, has been tackled high by young Haddon, and he's going back for a shot on goal.
He'll be kicking from 50.
This will be for his second goal of the day.
And that's going to fall well short, but in a dangerous position. As players just attacking the footy at the moment. As we see just players fighting hard, forcing repeat stoppages here. That ball gets over the back, but Tanunda player jumps on it. And everyone's back in again, so we'll have another ball up. It's moved to about 40 metres out from Tanunda's goal face. Tanunda currently with a 1-goal lead. And we are currently just over 18 minutes into the final quarter here on the Ray White Craig Moore time clock.
It's going to be a pretty solid arm wrestle, I think, from here onwards. But you know, you've got a forward that's kicked 3 in Tanunda with Jared Traynor. Just that extra big body down forward.
Yes, just the ability to take that contested mark by holding space.
Yep.
And Angaston have got a key forward in Ben Antoni, but he doesn't have the ability to lean on a player and hold space. He hasn't got that power.
Some great work.
Beautiful
out there
pick up there.
Angaston trying to get it out of the back 50, and they're stuck.
Really well done.
The pressure of this young Tanunda half forward line and
That's a great tackle and should be holding the ball.
I think they'll ball it up. I think they'll throw it in. But
it'll be a ball in, but it could have been easily holding the ball. That's great defensive work there from Howson. Once again, he's been terrific.
He's very, very high in my votes today.
He's got to be top 4.
Without a doubt.
Paprotny now at the back of the contest, clears to the outer side.
Serviceable, but probably hasn't used the ball as well as he could.
No, that probably didn't really advantage his teammate there.
William Parker there has been caught in a position with...
fighting with Summerton.
There's some experience you're standing against. Imagine that body. That must be sore.
It must be. And every week he isn't frightened to go to the bottom of the pack.
That's it.
There's no holding back.
Again, Voigt at the ruck again. Clever ball. Straight out. Doherty trying to get to the ball and make a touch to stop the Angaston return. But looks like young Tuckle is bringing the ball back in with a low ball into the half-forward line. And Summerton pushes Hokeless across, and it's run out over the line by Manning. It's so with Tanunda, Jared Trainer with 3 goals, Sam Brooks 1, Hamish Martin 1, Sam Cahoon with 1, and for Angaston, Archie Haddon with 1, Luke McInerney with 1, Jed Durden with 1, and Ben Antoni with 2. So
Yes.
great spread of goal, and those names, there's some talent there.
Oh, absolutely. There is some future in those names as well.
Absolutely. It is quite dark. The lights are on. It's atmospheric.
And what a
Just
take.
burst through.
And just sold some candy on the fly. He's been important today at times.
Oh, totally.
That handball just missed the target for the Panthers. Allows Tanunda to get the entry.
There we go. We've got young Jacob Houston chasing the young Angaston player who runs it over the boundary line.
That was Miles Harvey. He was desperate for the line there. He knew he was in trouble.
Absolutely.
He's having a good debut season, but was in a lot of trouble there.
I think we see again that those experienced heads of Guilfoy taking the ruck now in the forward, and Voigt.
As Angaston player is thrown out of the contest there. That was Schubert.
He's a light ruckman.
He's not a ruckman, but he is playing the position out of necessity with another of the players who is away due to the Snowden wedding, Angus Adams, along with Jack Miles, both out of the Angaston team. So your backup ruckman and your centre half back missing. Big holes for Angaston.
Commitment to the ball there was fantastic, and a fantastic tackle by Greenslade.
Yes.
Wow.
Great tackle there. That's something that you just don't want to be in a situation where someone can wrap you up that well, because you know you're helpless.
Summerton just dances through the pack, gets the ball out to the middle.
Angaston with a
Malachi
chance here now.
Colhagen with the ball out. But then we've got young Finn Manning here, taking the ball. Thomas Hahn, handball out to Doherty. Doherty down the wing, looking for an option going into forward 50 with a mongrel punt. And Sam Brooks has taken a mark directly out in front.
That is
35 metres.
Tanunda's future encompassed right there. 3 young players, and Brooks, who is a young player himself,
Absolutely.
all
Coming back
combining,
after 2 knee recos.
and just plays with courage. He's hard.
Frighteningly
We
courageous.
talk about hard players. He's one of the hardest that I've seen in recent years for a young player.
Yeah.
Has never been afraid of a contest.
Got on goal.
He goes back and
And he
kicks.
slotted it.
I think that could be the straw that breaks the camel's back, as we are now nearly 15 minutes into the final quarter. Angaston have got a mountain of work to do if they want to pull this one out of the bag.
Well, it came down to moments.
Yes.
We saw a moment before, and we've seen another one. And just that, the teamwork across the midfield, when that disputed ball was there, the young Tanunda team had 3 players to the Angaston one, and it's not anybody else's fault, it's circumstance, but to collect the ball, have the composure
Yes.
to then use it and deliver it is the key.
Something that probably may not have shown up on your screen at home is Tanunda's defensive positioning, forcing Angaston to make poor kicks across the midfield into areas that aren't really advantaging them. That has forced Angaston not to use the ball well.
Absolutely.
Ball
Lockie
coming forward now. Earl
and
gets to Hahn. And there we are.
Guilfoy just
Guilfoy with a
attacks the
beautiful
ball.
pick-up. Takes 2 players to bring him down.
He's a big man.
He is. I was at a bar with him recently, and he is a big unit. Nice
Takes the
fella.
ball out of the ruck. Trainer to follow the ball with Jacob Houston. Snap on goal.
And hits the point post.
Hit the point
That
post.
goal nearly could have put him over the top in voting.
I think that would have done it if he had a slotted that. I'm a big
He's
fan of the
still
kid.
close.
Yep. And again, look, the average age.
We
of
don't
those
get
two
the final
players-
vote, so we're not going to broadcast who we vote for, but he's got to be in the running.
And you know, to be transparent and fair, you know, McInerney's been fantastic for Angaston. Durden in and out, but Corcoran for
Chuckwell's been really good for Angaston. Summerton's been very good.
as you would expect. I just think it's been left for too few.
Yes.
Whereas this young flea brigade of Tanunda, here we go, fleet-footed, handballs off. Oh, that's
And
good. That's an
free
interesting
kick there, and a
Free kick.
25-metre penalty paid. Must have been some back chat to the umpire there,
Lip.
and that's poor discipline from the Tanunda players.
Bit of emotion creeping in there.
Well, there's got to be emotion. That's what football's about.
We love it. Corcoran with the quick handball, and Matthew Westhoff with the gather and take it over the line for a point for Angaston.
That's good safety play from
Long
Westhoff.
time between scores for Angaston.
Short kick coming out.
Cahoon's got the ball. Who else would you have the ball?
That's where you want the ball right now.
Cahoon looking for
The best kick of the ball in the competition.
Smith clunks the grab like a dry
And
ball.
finds Colhoun, who's run past.
They're using it. Oh, Thompson nearly
That
stuck
was
out of the hands. What a
Thompson,
tackle.
that is magnificent play. Nearly got the ball himself.
and then got
took
around the
him down.
Propotny bump
Yes.
and still laid the tackle.
That is brilliant. Could have been rewarded with holding the ball, but we weren't at the precise angle that the umpire was.
Exactly.
I'm not going to criticise that because
Hamish Martin gets the ball,
I'm not
picks it up.
qualified to umpire because
Mitch Manning
I'm
on the
not
shot
quick
on
enough.
goal. Trainer in the goal square. Tries to hand
Handball's
it off.
back. That's
Quick
unselfish.
handball. Sam Brooks for his third.
Brookso!
One would have to say.
Bang, that's the game sealer right there.
Is that the game? I'm sitting just opposite his father here, who has a smile, and I don't think Sam Brooks has kicked.
I
three
don't
goals
think
in the
his
game
father
for
has
very
cracked
long.
a smile yet.
No.
He's not looking confident. Look at him. He's happy because Carlton won, and that's the only reason he's smiling. He's not going to get ahead of himself just yet. He's a very humble man, Mr. Brooks.
He is incredibly humble. Legend of this football club.
A legend, absolutely. That word gets thrown around a lot, but he definitely qualifies.
Without a doubt. But
He's good people.
they've broken it open.
That is
That youth of Tanunda is
that's
bringing
it.
the ball into
The
the
run of
forward line.
Tanunda has killed Angaston in this second half.
Yeah. There's a bit of heavy bodywork and a drop.
Somebody now around the corner.
That is a fantastic one-handed mark.
Josh
there,
Hopeless is a great second-year senior footballer. I saw him play his debut game at
Martin.
Kapunda last year. He was extraordinary.
To Hahn. Hahn's delivery to Jacobs Houston, but ruined Guilfoyle.
Guilfoyle with a big, powerful pack mark.
That's outstanding.
He is really having an impact now. And you're welcome to say I was right again, because it did feel good.
Well, you did predict that if he had this moment, he would take it, and he would cause an influence on the game, and it's absolutely positive.
This goal, definitely within his capabilities.
He's a backman, don't forget.
Just across, taken through. Mark
That's
is
a mark.
paid, so it doesn't go down as a minor score. That's good on his
That's
record.
great on his stat sheet. That's a great ball out from the full back line to the young
Corcoran. Corcoran goes straight away.
And it's long, but he's got Antony.
Antony has to
through
go back.
Summerton.
Summerton now. He's not sure.
He's got Leeds going
Tanunda
halfback.
really clogging this game up well. Haddon in the middle now with a mark. But Tanunda's defence is really flooding back. They are working there. The midfield is back.
It's a high ball into the forward 50, and the Tanunda defence will work.
There is not a
overtime.
player forward of Angaston's half-forward line. Tanunda have all worked back. They know that they're holding game at the moment. They just have to shut the Panthers down.
I must say that third quarter that was incredibly enthralling, and it was
It
a moment
was.
either way.
Yes.
And we've seen that come to fruition.
And this last quarter has been fantastic from a Tanunda perspective. But
great
good
football.
football. It's been great to watch, and I'm sure the people at home have enjoyed watching this.
I hope there's lots out there.
Whether you're at home or you're at work, we appreciate you tuning in.
supporting community football is really important, and by people watching is fantastic.
You can watch the AFL highlights on the news,
get it on.
but watching this live is best.
That's it. This is real. Oh, great turn by Doherty out of the back
That
line.
is magnificent football
And
from young
delivery
Doherty.
to
Lockie
Earl.
Earl on the outer side, who's been a warhorse all day. He's looking down the line. It's pretty congested. He's got Sam Brooks asking for it. I'd go to Brooks right now. He's hot. He's going to mark anything. There's a clear push.
out. Yep.
And you finally agreed with the decision.
Yeah, well, hey, I could even see that. And it was a free kick for Tanunda that Teeks, you called out before I did. So Guilfoyle goes long into the forward 50. They're delivering to the hot hand, which is Brooks.
Sammy Brooks, he's on fire right now.
The 5'9" key forward.
He's got a wide backside and players can't get around him.
That's it, he's got a head of concrete.
Head of concrete and a very wide back end like a Volkswagen Beetle.
We won't be able to hear the end of this tonight, you know that.
I don't have
He's
to hang
having a
around for it.
slot from there, from 40 metres out. It's in the goal square and well
Punch
defended.
through. He'll be
Quick look
furious
at the
about that.
SNFL. The Bulldogs are up by a point over North. The Eagles are up by 14 points over Glenelg. It's all tied up with the Bloods and the Legs, and Sturter a point up over the Crows. It is as close as I've seen SNFL football in
And
25 years.
it's been a great season of SNFL football, a real resurgence for the league.
What a tackle that is! And they've called a sling. I thought that was a fair crack. But anyway, play on. Angaston, Colhagen to Antony. Antony
That's
delivering the ball.
Well defended there. So out of bounds. With a boundary throw in Angaston's forward line. Angaston looking to get one back here. It's probably too much to ask them to get everything back now. We are 24 minutes gone in the final quarter on the Ray White Craigmore time clock. As that ruck stoppage amounts to not a lot. Players grab it and they're wrapped up immediately.
Well, I can tell you what, there's been no quarter given, to be honest, on
No.
both sides. And
There's going to be some
total
sore
commitment,
players at the end of this game.
without a doubt. Voigt smashes the ball 25 to 30 metres out. Antony turns and stumbles a kick back in, but Voigt returns the service on having a great mark.
He's had a fantastic game. This is the best I've seen him play in a Magpies Guernsey at Tanunda.
Absolutely. It's and it's a standout game for a lot of these players, I think. We won't
Good
call
mark
that a
taken
standout.
there. That was McInerney.
And again, I think McInerney just stands out to me as the Angaston best at the moment. So
Good kick
that's a
around the
snap-on
corner
goal by one of
and
the
just offline.
Antony boys.
So that gets them a point closer, but isn't going to help in the long run. Tanunda comfortably ahead now. 8 goals, 654, leading Angaston 5-7-37 on the Burge Barossa scoreboard.
I'll tell you what, there'll be celebrations at the Ponderosa because the Doggies have got up by 2 points over the Roosters.
And a really good win with two clubs who have become strong rivals in the last decade.
Indeed. Matt Westhoff's punched the ball out 90 metres from his own goal, but the ball comes back very quickly from Angaston. Spiked out. Young Manning grabs the ball, blind turn with well shepherding, and delivers to the middle of the field to Grass.
And well picked up there in the middle by Ryan. Big left foot to the goal square.
Huge hoof for a goal.
And bounces through for a goal. An unlikely goal for a backman who doesn't kick many. Rarely gets a chance to have a shot on goal, and I don't think he truly was having a shot there, but it's gone through.
But you hit the ball at pace. You hit the ball at pace and you give yourself every
Took it
opportunity.
clean,
Yep.
and as a lot of left footers has got a lot of length in his kick.
It's uncanny how, as left footers, we're able to get distance. I could never work out why it was so different.
They're all cheats, let's be honest.
I was not, and I still am not. But it's just one of those things. It seems to be a physical phenomenon.
But they also get extra space to kick because every player is so dumb they go to the right.
Young Hewson just overran the ball there after a great ruck tap
As the final siren goes, Tanunda win the Peck Cup. Great result for the Tanunda Football Club. A tough season, but they win the Peck Cup. They get to keep some silverware for the year.
What an outstanding contest.
What a game. Edge of the seat stuff all day. That is one of the best games I've seen all year. And the margin, it's 11 points, but it feels closer than that, doesn't it?
Well, absolutely. I think just testament to both clubs, both organisations bringing to today, their futures. And it's really exciting to see that the amount of young fellas that run around out there and playing the game and playing it to the absolute nth degree is wonderful. So
how good for Tanunda to do it on a premiership reunion day with some legends of the past present to come and witness the future of their club.
So final score today with Tanunda coming out winners 8-6-54 to Angaston 6-7-43. And just to recap, Jared Trainer for Tanunda kicked 3. Sam Brooks with 2 last quarter goals.
Wasn't he special? He's the good Brooks.
He's the good Brooks. We'll take him. He kicked 3. Hamish Martin kicked 1. Sam Cahoon kicked 1. And for the vanquished, unfortunately, we've got but Archie Haddon kicked 1. Luke McInerney was outstanding all day. Tommy Ryan with that last goal of the day. Jed Durden and Ben Antoni kicked 2.
And my better players for the day, I've got to say, Henry Voigt was a standout all day for the Magpies with his ruck work and his work around the ground and in the contest. Thomas Hahn, what a game. Finn Manning was really good. Young Doherty was fantastic. Jacobus Hoosen was brilliant.
I agree.
And he was even good when we thought he was Axel Bignell.
I'm struggling to get past young Tommy Hahn.
Tommy Hahn was magnificent. He got beaten from pillar to post.
Absolutely.
And just kept coming.
For Angaston, honestly, I love the work of McInerney off half-back. I thought Tom Ryan down back was outstanding as well. Both the Antoni boys came in and out of the game, but Corcoran was a bustling machine for most of the time there.
Tuckwell worked hard in the clinches.
Probably didn't show up a little bit when it really needed to be laid on it, and same to be said for Shay. But
and I've got to say, Canholm's run off the bench onto the field was superb.
Well, it did look good. So, but no, congratulations to Tanunda and winning the Pet Cup. We're about to have the announcement for the day. Thank you very much for your viewing. We will catch you again another day.
Thank you.
Combative League Clubs. Congratulations to our boys. We got across the line today. Today we played for the Pet Cup and the Kleinig medal. And fortunately for us, we're on the right side of the ledger this year. I'd now like to ask Peter Kleinig to present the medal for the Kleinig medal for the players judge, Bester for Hill.
Thanks a lot. Congratulations to both sides. It was a pretty well fought game.